It's just another day in paradise with Phil Vassar on the Music Universe podcast. How's it going, Matt?
Oh, you know what? You know how it's going because we've done 3 of these damn things today, okay? So don't even ask me how it's going because I've answered that twice already.
We got to start somewhere because this isn't the third one airing today.
Yes, I know. I like to trip you up sometimes with a little bit of a blooper. Jeesh.
You do.
Yes.
You do.
Well, and it's funny. This one, I'm so jealous because I love Phil Vassar. I was going to do it with you, and then I had something come up very, very last minute the day we were going to do this. I remember it distinctly because it was literally a week ago. Exactly a week ago, actually.
Yeah.
We were going to do this, and I couldn't do it with you, and I was crushed, but I had to go to this meeting when I had to go. And what I'm noticing right now, and I don't know if you're noticing this in the country ruled by Gavin Newsom, but
don't get me started.
If you've noticed this, things are slowly, incrementally returning to what I would consider, dare I say, normal.
Yeah.
I'm really, this week and last week, I noticed that there are just some things like my grandmother, the nursing home, her independent living community, they used to, and this was so stupid. They used to, and I'm going to rant for a second. They used to, if you had to go to a doctor's appointment and you went by yourself, you had to come back and you had to quarantine for 14 days. Now, if somebody from the nursing home went with you, the community went with you, you wouldn't have to quarantine for 14 days. And even then, when you couldn't quarantine when you didn't have to quarantine for 14 days, you couldn't leave the grounds without coming back and having to quarantine for 14 days. So I think it's wrong when they say in the media that people still can't go to funerals, because I had my grandfather's funeral about a month ago, and I think we talked about it here on the show, and we're airing out of order. It's probably been longer than that. But when she went and did that, she got slapped in the face with a 14-day quarantine. So,
wow.
But now that was just this weekend lifted. So she can finally go. After months and months of stress of watching him be on hospice, rest in peace, Pop-Up, she can finally go and live her life now and live her life again.
Good.
And it's like things are slowly starting to return to normal. And I think we're at the point, now this gets a little political and whatever, but I think we're at the point where it should be to each their own. I mean, I understand mask mandates and stuff, but like my example is I'm still working from home on medical because of my situation, but that doesn't preclude me from going to restaurants or having to have the meeting I mentioned earlier that I couldn't do Phil Vassar with you. So, and again, I don't want to get overly political, but I'm starting to see, and it's giving me hope that maybe by February we'll be able to do Vegas for Garth.
You've ranted, I'm going to rant.
Yeah,
here.
Go ahead.
Being what I do outside of here, I see all the time people, and everywhere I look, either they're not wearing a mask or they're not wearing it properly. And when they don't wear it properly, it's never over their nose.
Right.
Or it's at their chin. It's not a chin mask. It's a face mask.
Can't get the chin, Rona. Yeah.
Right? And it always bugs me that people, from my experience, they don't care enough about everybody that they don't wear it properly. And I tell them it's ineffective if it's not worn over the nose and mouth. And, I have people like, well, I don't believe in it. Well, it's not about what you believe. It's the science behind everything
about what
right
we have
now.
to do. Yeah.
Telling you to be a responsible citizen, stay 6 feet apart, which it's not going to happen in any type of, out retail environment, if you're going into the store or whatever. It's just not able to happen because stores were never set up for that.
Right.
And even though they may limit the amount of people, you're still going to be close quarters with someone at some point, passing them in the lane or whatever it may be, waiting in the checkout. Nobody follows that 6 foot rule.
No.
And it's like really bothersome
Well,
to
what
me
bothers
that they
me-
don't seem to care
Mm-hmm.
that what they need to do, they're refusing to do it because they don't believe in it.
Well, what bothers me is those 6 feet markers in stores. They ain't 6 feet. I could lay down in between of
Right?
them, and I'm 5'7". Like,
Yeah.
you know, and I'd be like between 3 of them instead of just 2. So the whole thing, and we could talk off mic about the whole political thing of it. I'm just thinking about it now because I feel like I'm really seeing a concerted effort to get things back to normal. There was a political concern that we're just going to stay this way forever now, and that's no. I think we're starting to see a concerted effort to get things back to normal. But that's another conversation for a whole other type of show. But I just wanted to say that in my being busy and not able to participate, I'm seeing some hope. So
I sure hope, but, you know, to kind of wrap that thought up, Europe has, you know, they had it seem like under control, and now a second wave has hit.
Yeah.
And we are going into fall because we're late September that we're recording this.
Right.
So it's already fall. It's possibly going to flare back up, but, you know, we're doing our best to control it. We just all have to do our part to maintain it.
Exactly. So Phil Vassar, the legend. Oh my God. How was that, buddy?
He was the coolest guy, man. I mean, we talked to a lot of cool people, but he came on, you know, it was Good Morning, which he was, you know, it was late morning in Nashville where he was. And he said he had, I think 3 pots of coffee by that time. He was wired. He was super cool. You know, at the end of it, he said, reach out to me anytime if you need something. Not everybody tells us that.
No.
He was just a super cool guy. And his neighbor, you've got to hear the article, or I'm in website mode now. You've got to hear the interview to see who is his neighbor across the street that he hangs out with. That's appeared on his shows. You know, the reason we were chatting with him, because he's got a live stream that he does.
Yeah.
From his bar, and he also has a TV series on Circle All Access, where it's recorded in his basement. But you've got to listen to hear who the guests are.
Well, here we go. Man that needs no introduction. Our interview, Buddy's interview with Phil Vassar.
Phil Vassar joining us on the Music Universe podcast. How are you doing, friend?
Rocking the music universe. That's what I'm doing. No, everything's great. How are you doing?
I'm great, man. I love it. I've we've both been big fans of yours and super excited about everything you've got going. I know there's a lot going on. You just started a new piano bar cover series.
Yeah.
And I wanted to chat about that a little bit, and some exciting news we just got this morning as well.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, we're having fun, man. The piano bar has been great. I have actually a piano bar in my house. So, I sort of started out playing those things, and to people just sit around and we just play and sing, and it's just fun. I know just about 1 million songs, not all the way through or well, but I know them. I played all these Elton John and Billy Joel and Jackson Brown and Jimmy Buffett. I mean, you name it, Ronnie Milsap, Seeger, Petty.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes on and on and on. So, I mean, I played all these songs in these piano bars for years before I got my deal. And I had my own piano bar in Nashville. So it's pretty cool.
Oh, really?
I sure did. Now I have it again.
What was it called?
Hard Day. It was called the Hard Days Nightclub. Of course, I'm a big Beatles fan. But yeah, man. So we had a little bar, and and we'd just pack it out on weekends, and until I got my deal, I went straight. I left my bar and went straight on tour with Tim and Faith. That's exactly what happened. So.
Wow,
it's pretty crazy,
amazing.
So when I got my deal and had all these hits as a writer, I still had my bar. And then, I got my deal, and Carlene came out, and Paradise and all that stuff. And I just literally, I played my last night at my bar, and then I jumped on a plane and headed to San Diego to meet up with Tim and Faith. So it was cool.
Oh, awesome. Well, I know, musicians having bars on Broadway is is something that's kind of common these days. Are you thinking about maybe reopening in that at some point?
You know what? I don't know. And a lot of these things, their names on it, right? You know how that works, and it's sort
Right.
of a licensing thing. But it was actually my bar. I mean, it was my bar, so it was.
Wow.
It's a lot more work, and it's a lot easier just to let them use your name. So it's
Oh yeah, totally.
it's definitely a different thing. So I don't know, man. I mean, if I do, I want it to be in the Caribbean somewhere or something, or maybe South Florida or something, on a beach where I can just wear flip flops and play piano. And that sounds like
Yeah.
the life to me, doesn't it? Doesn't that sound pretty good?
Oh yeah, I'm in California, and when I first moved out here from Nashville, actually, I lived on Dockweiler Beach for about a month, and I loved it. Except I
Not
was
so bad,
in
is
an
it,
RV
brother?
with
Not
three
so
other
bad.
guys.
Oh my God, I love it so much. I love the water. I love the beach, and it's my zen place, and I think that's
Hmm.
just what it is. But I do love I love playing. I love playing other people's songs too, and it's fun. It's for me. It's just I grew up listening to all this stuff, Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder and whatever, Lionel Richie. I played piano and so it's kind of fun to revisit these songs again and do it, and I'm really having fun. I love it.
Yeah, and it also I was watching some of it, and it just seems like it's just kind of fly by the seam of your pants type of thing. And I know you
That's
take
exactly
requests
what it
from
is.
people. Yeah, it looked like it was just you having a lot of fun with a guitarist, and it sounds awesome.
I know, man. It's fun. I had my sax player over this past week, and I'm having people come over, and so it's a lot of fun. I mean, it really, really is. I gotta say, it's probably the most enjoyable thing I've done since the break.
Yeah, and it airs on Facebook, right?
It's on Single. It's the name of it, but I don't know exactly. It's not on Facebook. It's on. You have to go to my website.
Oh, Single Music.
It's Single Music. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, I think. I don't think Facebook's doing any of that stuff anymore. I think they stopped doing all that kind of stuff. From what I understand, they were taking all that down starting in October. I don't think they were going to do any more live music streams and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how that might, everybody's doing that right now for obvious reasons. I was gonna ask,
Right.
how you think that might affect people that were reaching out to fans and giving them entertainment and maybe even getting paid in tips or helping other places that need it.
I don't know. I'm sure the thing about it is if it's not Facebook, it'll be something else. It's always it's
Right.
an ever changing landscape, especially with all this tech stuff. And I'm not a techie person, but I miss playing in person. That's what I want to do. I mean, but this is a necessary evil. Hopefully, for a few more months that we can get back to work before. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine this thing would ever go away. I just think it's going to probably be like any other flu or something else. It just seems like you have
Hmm.
to get on with your lives, I guess. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, and live music is so needed. I was actually planning to attend the most concerts I think I've ever attended in one year this year, and then of
Yeah,
course
I
all
mean,
this hit.
it's part of our psyche. It's part of our lives. It's part of our. I mean, people aren't meant to sit in a room and sit in front of a computer all day long. I think they would need to get out and socialize and be with other folks. And that's what music does. It brings people together. To there's nothing like it, and to go into a show and
Hmm.
seeing somebody and singing along with your friends and doing that stuff. There's no replicating that. The closest, we're just trying to get as close as we can get by doing, these little series. And as a matter of fact, it's funny because we've been doing the piano bar series, and I had some friends of mine in San Diego, and they had me up on the big screen, and they're up just singing. It was just so fun to watch, So I guess that's as close as we
Oh
can
yeah.
get for the next few months. But after that, let's go back at it. I'm ready.
Oh, absolutely. And I know you've got a show on Circle All Access too that's currently in its second season.
You know what? It's a lot of fun. The songs from the cellar. We shoot. It's funny because now I shoot the piano bar at my house, and I've got the wine cellar downstairs where I shoot songs from the cellar. It's like my house is becoming the where I go to work, which is actually kind of interesting, So, but it's fun, man. I've had everybody from Tommy Shaw to Peter Frampton to Mike Tyson to, I mean, this year Billy Bob. Who else? Dennis Quaid, Vince Gill, Tracy Lawrence, Jody Messina, Steve Warner. I mean, all these great guests, you know, and come down to my Kix Brooks came across the street and played with me, and Jesse James Decker, and it's just a lot of fun, man.
That's got to be cool to have those kinds of friends that can just come over and hang out and do what you guys love to do, play music and entertain.
It is, man. I mean, I thought, you know, John Rich, of course, did it too, and you know, we were just, I mean, it's kind of how I got the idea. It's just like, man, dude, this is, because the stories are so much fun, and what we've all done, and the things we've gotten to do, and talking to these amazing songwriters about, you know, Steve Cropper about writing Sitting on the Dock of the Bay, or some of these classics. You know, how did you write that? You know, and you know, just I'm a fan. I'm a fan of all the folks I get on the show, and I think Kelly Pickler's on this week, and Kelly and I are, of course, such good friends and have toured together for, you know, on different tours. So, I mean, I can't tell you how much fun it is to do it. And, you know, especially being a music fan myself and such a muso. And I love it. It really is great.
Yeah, you can see you guys having fun. And I actually saw a clip of you and Kelly, and the chemistry on these things are just great, because you guys just kind of get to let loose and tell stories too, which is really cool about that.
I mean, you know how lucky am I? I mean, to get to go into my wine cellar, wine and music at the same time. my buddy goes, all you need now is a pole. I said,
that's true.
I said, wow, isn't that crazy? But anyway, it's so much fun, and just the talent that's come in and out of there. It's just so amazing. Lone Star, and I mean, good grief, Larry Gatlin. I'm talking about people, you know, Brenda Lee. I'm talking about folks in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You know, it's so interesting, and so just blessed to do it. Love it, man. Having a blast.
I bet you never thought you'd invite those caliber of people over to your own house and get to hang out like that.
I know, it's like I'm weird. It's like I'm just sitting here, just going, is this really going on? You know, but it is, you know, and it's you know, it really is. It's so much fun, and I've learned a lot doing it. You know, of course, you know, you're used to interviewing people, right? That's what you do, and for me, it was a you know, it's definitely been a you know, I've done every show. I've done, you know, Jay Leno or Letterman, or I've done all these things. And then you don't think about how, you know, being on the other side of the chair, you know, the interviewee instead of the interviewer, you know, so it's very, very fun. I've really loved it. I learned a lot about a lot of my friends I didn't know before.
Mm-hmm. Well, you definitely got something that we just got news of. You're a nominee for the 2020 Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame, along with Kix, Stephen Curtis Chapman, Steve Earle, Kent Blasey, Sean Camp, all these great songwriters. Congratulations, number one. And two, how does that make you feel?
Old. I'm like, man, hey, I'm not old enough to be in the Hall of Fame. But you know what, man? It's an honor. It really is. I mean, it's I mean, if you'd have told me ever in a million years that something like that would ever happen, I would have laughed, you know, in your face, you know, 30 years ago. But you know what, man? It's you know, once again, we've just had. I'm still here. I'm still doing it. I still love it. I love playing shows and writing songs more than I've ever loved it, and you know, I still get to do it. We'll kind of still get to do it, but hopefully soon we'll get to do it again. But you know what? It's really great. It really is. I'm very proud of that.
Oh, good. Yeah. Congratulations once again. Looking forward, and hoping that happens for you. Now, obviously, you've written many number ones for other artists, many other songs as well that didn't hit number one, but were big hits. You know, Colin Ray, Alan Jackson, Jody Messina, Tim McGraw. What did it feel like when you first got your word that you got your first number one? Like, was that surreal to you?
Yeah. I mean, it really, really was. I mean, you think about that kind of stuff. It's almost like I took it for granted for a while. It's like, wow, there's another number one song or whatever. But I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. That first one, it was numbing. It was very numbing. You know, I remember going, oh my God, really, for real. which means it's the most played song in the world, right? Okay, in your genre. So
Right.
so it's pretty awesome. I mean, it really, really is. It's a feeling you can't describe. And even hearing your songs on the radio now to this day, it's not something that never gets old. And I mean, I wish everybody could feel that.
Yeah, totally. Now, has the COVID pandemic inspired any new music? Are you currently working on a new album or anything maybe that you'll release maybe before touring resumes?
You know what? Maybe I don't know. We did recut "This Is God," which was a single in 2003 that we redid, and it was fun to do that. But yeah, I mean, I've been doing a little work, writing, and you're always kind of creating, trying to do different things. And I don't write as much as I used to, but I'm kind of starting to get back into the writing again. And then I think it's good to sort of get away from it for a little bit every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it's been great just to be around my daughters. Just to be around the girls and hang out with them. And I miss so much of their life touring. You don't think about it, but now, you got a junior in high school and a senior in college. So it's like, wow, I'm really getting to hang out with these girls and go to lunch with them or take them, whatever, shopping or just stuff I didn't really get to do when I was touring 200 shows a year, and so it's really good. I think they're excited for me to go back on the road one of these days. Are you going to tour again, Dad? but you know what? It's been great. I've loved that.
Yeah, that the family time, I think, is most of the artists we've spoke with. It's the family time that they didn't have, or the downtime that they didn't have before, that's really catching up to them, and they're able to do things like gardening and whatever else they never got to do before.
I'm out looking at mine right now. As a matter of fact, the flowers that I've got to go from the spring flowers to the fall flowers. So that's where I am right now, and I love it. That's one of my favorites. It's always been sort of, I've always gotten, ragged by my buddies. They're like, dude, you got a green thumb. I mean, I love getting out and doing the flowers, and I love that. Everybody said, man, your pool area is like ridiculous. I said, they're like, who does your stuff? I'm like, me. They're like, no. So I love that. It's
That's
always
awesome.
been kind of my thing, and I love it. So it's I've gotten to really. I tell you one thing, my yard looks like a golf course right now. It's pretty good. That's one thing I've gotten out of the COVID deal.
That's awesome. Plus, speaking of, I know you mentioned your daughters. It looks like you have one following in your footsteps.
Well, I've tried to talk her out of it, but anyway, she's she is she's an amazing writer, amazing singer, and she's doing her own thing, which I really love. I think she's that girl. She went straight to school, straight to New York City when she turned 18 years old. And so she was in an apartment in Manhattan by herself. And I mean, I tell you what, I have a lot of respect for her because she's got more guts than I ever had.
She's 18 years old, and whew.
I know, man. It scared me to death every day. I'm just, they're still your babies, So, and now she's back in Nashville, and she's working on all this stuff, and so I'm proud of her. I mean, it really is a lot of fun. I think she's actually going to sing with me on my, my piano bar show. She was talking the other day about she loves Tracy Chapman and some of these songs. She said, Dad, I was like, what song you want to sing? She goes, I think I might sing a Tracy Chapman song. Well, I'm like, okay, you sing whatever you want. So it's kind of fun, right? Get to do that, to get to do that.
Yeah, that is awesome. I'm a father myself, and mine's starting to sing, and
How old is she?
She's got some. She just turned 10.
Man, it's awesome, isn't it? It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah, she
God.
goes around singing all the time. Started out with guitar a little bit, but singing all the time. So I think she'll be. I play drums too, so I think she'll be following my footsteps at some point.
Yeah, she's doing the music like that. You can't fault them. It's kind of what they grew up in the middle of. It's so funny. I've got pictures of Haley, with Kenny Chesney or Alan Jackson Holdner. It's like funny. I said, you just kind of grew up in this business, and I guess she just isn't. She's not intimidated by it or any of that. So it's like it's just very natural to her. So where for us it was always like I had to work so hard just to get into the middle of all that, and then she's
right.
She loves it, man. It's really fun.
Well, that is awesome. Well, Phil, do you have anything else to add? I know we're a little short on time here.
No, I'm good, man. I've enjoyed talking to you, though, man. It's really a lot of fun. So how you like in California? Is everything okay? Can you breathe out there yet?
I've been out. I moved from Nashville in 2008. I've been out here in Bakersfield now, and you can actually look at the sun and not be blinded. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's really weird, man. You know Jerry Hufford, right? You know Jerry?
Yeah, in fact, I used to work for not him directly, but for Buck Owens.
Oh, cool, man! I tell you, it's Buck was awesome, man. He was amazing. I was the first act to play at the Crystal Ballroom after he passed. And it was.
Oh, really?
It was pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, I was huge. I mean, I still listen to Buck Owens just about every day. I love Buck Owens music. He's on my playlist. And, the Beatles loved him. Everybody loved him. And he was a big influence on a lot of people, and a lot of people didn't know he did anything but hee-haw, which is so funny, It's so crazy.
Yeah.
But, man, what a genius that guy was. And, I mean, he was a businessman, too. I talked to Merle Haggard and all those guys about it. So let me tell you something. Nobody was a better businessman than Buck was. And they're right,
Oh yeah, he's got the radio stations still going.
Oh man,
the Crystal Palace is up and running. I've been to several concerts there. The sound is just amazing, and it's a great little place. I've never had. They said you have to try the chicken fried steak, but I've never done it.
It's good. It's good. It's a whole lot of food. Well, make sure you tell Jerry and all those guys hello out there. I really love coming to Bakersfield. It's a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll get out there and play again soon once y'all get that place back opened up.
Yeah, I'd love to see you. Haven't seen you yet live, and it'd be awesome to check you out when you come through.
Yeah, you need to see a piano player rock the house. That's what we do. It's fun.
I love it.
Well, all right, my brother. Well, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you. And if you need anything else, buddy, just call me anytime, all right?
All right, appreciate it, Phil. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Kix frickin' Brooks? That's just awesome. Yeah. Oh, my God. Well,
I imagine just these, neighbors are, and then
where is this magical Music Row neighborhood of just superstar country singers? And can I go and co-produce Phil's talk show? And in fact, you know what? Since he said call for anything you want. Well, I want a job with you, Phil. I'm gonna call you and I'm gonna say, hey, I want to work on your talk show. And if you think I'm not going to, Buddy will tell you I have the balls to do it. So
he does. Whether you like it or not.
You love it because that's why we have the people we have, partly.
Partially, yes, I will agree. But, you heard the interview. Phil was super energetic, just super cool guy. We even chatted about our kids, my daughter and his kids, and he's got a daughter that's following in his footsteps, which is really cool, going kind of the pop route.
It's funny. I have a Kix Brooks conspiracy. I have a Brooks and Dunn conspiracy. And I think,
please let us have it.
And I want to hear, because I feel like you would know this. You know more people in Nashville who would have the answer here. But I think they called it Brooks and Dunn because Garth Brooks was taken off at that time. And in the the music stores, it was all alphabetical. And so the albums were right next to each other. It was Brooks, Garth, Brooks and Dunn. I think they've refuted that, but I wouldn't put it past a savvy label, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good idea. So when you say Kix Brooks, that brought that to mind.
No, totally. And I wouldn't doubt that, but I haven't really thought of that, honestly. Yeah. I love both of them, but I think Brooks and Dunn rolls off the tongue a little better than Dunn and Brooks.
Yeah.
Honestly. And maybe that's just because that's what's embedded in our head for the last 30 years. But I'm sure you know this, they were actually solo artists and the label put them together.
Yeah.
Reluctantly. They didn't want to do it. And thankfully they did because
Some of the best neoclassical hits ever.
My favorite thing, I had asked him if he thought, because he's doing his little, bar series live stream. I had asked him if he thought about opening one on Broadway. I didn't know that he actually owned one.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. In the interview, he owned one. And then one day he left that bar, and the next night flew out to San Diego and opened for Tim and Faith, and it went from there.
That's amazing.
But it was his own bar. It wasn't, like a licensing agreement like Blake and everybody has down there right now. So I thought that was really cool that he owned his own piano bar.
That's so cool. Well, you know what? We'll have to have him back for part 2 because I want my shot to ask some questions. I'm so glad you got to do one yourself. We trade off. I think that I have a guest coming up here at the end of the year that I want to myself. So I think
we'll see if we make that happen.
Yeah, so we'll see. But that's it for us today. Keep looking out. We'll have more cool people. It's the Music Universe Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Buddy. Thanks for listening. And while you're looking out there, be sure to check out themusicuniverse.com where you'll find the latest news and reviews. Of course, IG Live with Brittany, and Matt and I have the podcast and notable releases and weekend notes on YouTube. Take care.